Hey, what's up, guys? Gonna do something a little bit different. So many people out there asking the questions of, right, so what's the right program for this? How do I write a split for this? And making it way too complicated. The majority of you guys out there, you're at kind of like a beginner level. And the truth is like your training split doesn't ever have to get past the basic fundamental level. I really think that this is something that is overcomplicated. There's plenty of you guys out there that are really good at programming, do an exceptional job of, doing these phases and things of that nature. But I think for the general population that just want to get in good shape, even plenty of competitors out there with aesthetic goals, this is something that's just we put way too much energy in rather than putting our focus on, what we're doing on the floor. And so for that reason, I have called my new program the anti-program program. Because honestly, I don't give a crap what kind of stimulus I'm in. I don't care what kind of stress that I'm making. All I care about is being honest about where I'm at now. Like, what kind of training am I coming from? What kind of training do I need to do now to get to this end goal? And so I'm coming from a training background that I've been doing for quite a while, like literally maybe getting close to a year, where the simple goal is I want to put tissue on, I want to create some muscular damage, I want to get stronger, I want to progress these lifts. And so calories are high, stress is high, food is high. My body's done. It's like, man, I don't want any more of that. And so I'm being honest about that. But also mentally, I'm wanting to shift. Why? Well, because I want to. I want to, get myself down to a body comp that is comfortable walking around for me. I don't have any aches and pains, no joint issues. I'm able to play a game of pickup basketball if I want to. If I'm in the Walmart parking lot and somebody tries to jump me, I can run from them. Right now, I'm not so confident that I can do that. And so without going, well, this needs to be a neurological program, and this needs to be this program, or hypertrophy this, or, muscle lactic, it doesn't really matter, okay? What matters is that it's different from where I came from, and it's a different good stress that my body has to adapt to. So I'm coming from a split where each muscle group was getting trained over the course of like an 8-day period, maybe twice at a very low volume, very, very high intensity, mostly all of my sets going to complete either mechanical, so form breakdown, or muscular, so complete muscular failure. Very, very high stress. Now I want to go to something where I'm not doing that a whole lot. The only reason why I'm failing is simply because I'm kind of maybe under recovering, or the fact that this is such a new training environment that I'm just not so used to it. And as the split goes on and on and on, I'll get better and better at it, right? This system will adapt naturally. What system? I don't know, I don't care, and neither should you. So I think the best case scenario for you guys to learn and to kind of try to apply is for you guys to see how I set up a split. And I'll be honest with you, I sat down maybe 20 minutes prior to this video and wrote this split. This is something that I'm gonna start in the next couple days, but that's the amount of thought that I put into it. Is this split perfect? Maybe it looks like it, but it's not. There will be something that I adjust, but the key thing is I just want to put something down on paper. Number one, it makes me accountable to split, but also I'm understanding that there will be something that I don't like, and I'm not going to be so emotionally attached to it that I don't make a proper adjustment going on. So let's rewind a little bit. Came from a very muscular damaging background, have a goal of shifting body comp, want to get down to a lower body fat percentage, be more athletic, feel better. So we're going into like a body comp style training. I know in order to do that, I need to provide myself with some kind of training environment that I'm training things more frequently at a less volume, maybe a little bit more dense, so more movement happening in my workout, but also not wearing out one tissue because I know calories need to come down, and specifically carbohydrates. My carbohydrates consistently have been pretty high, and my fats have been moderate, and my protein's been maybe relatively high. And so everything's gonna come down in a sense to the point over time that I know my calories are gonna have to be somewhat in a deficit. Not an extreme deficit, but just enough of a deficit to have a consistent change in the composition of my body and not hinder my recovery or my performance. Because the main reason why I do this thing is because I wanna go on and I wanna train hard. And so as long as I'm honest about that, I'm okay with the fact of not taking my diet at this point in time to a point where I need to suffer, because that's going to take away from the fun of training in the gym here. All right, so without me rambling on, let's kind of get into the split, and then I'll kind of like spew to you like what my thought process is. Now, I never confine my split to a 7-day period. I really confine it to like my body as a system. What's it take to get my system equally balanced in stimulation? Or if I have a priority body part, maybe that thing will be trained more over the course of this split. It just so happened that this split worked out to be 7 days, but a lot of times mine may be 10-day splits that I'll cycle through in that order, okay? So let's go through the days here. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you can see that, okay? Day 1 is a chest, a medial delt, a tricep, a calf. 4 muscle groups hit on that day. Day 2, lat, rear delt, bicep, ab. 4 muscle groups hit on that day. Day 3 is high intensity interval training. It's gonna be upper body focused. So it'll be something like farmer's carries, sledgehammer slams, you know, and something of that nature, rope slams, you know, some kind of upper body scapular work, but done in like a high intensity interval environment. That means that the work, the output is going to be quick and hard, and the rest is going to be long. And again, I'm going to start with a very, very low amount of sets for that. Why the hit? Again, because I want to get myself into more of an athletic environment. Is it conducive for my system right now? I don't know. I don't really freaking care, but I just want to do it. And that's good enough. Be okay with that. Have I been doing HIIT in the past? No. So could it be a good shift from a stimulus standpoint? Probably. Am I going to suck at it at the beginning? Absolutely. Day 4, quad, hams, calves. Day 5, another HIIT day, except lower based. So I know coming out of this quad day, this leg day, I'm probably going to be a little bit tired. All right. I'm going into this lower day. All right. And in my head, from a dietary standpoint, it's like day 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to make for now like a lower calorie day. So the concept of taking my system, maybe slowly depleting it over the course of the week. On this 5th day here, on this HIIT day, okay, that'll be like my last hurrah to kind of deplete everything, all right? So again, I might have a lower day if I feel like I recovered enough from this leg day, or I might have a higher calorie day to kind of fuel the rest of the week. So my high day is going to be somewhere in between day 5 and day 6, but I'm not 100% sure, okay? Just the concept of having really kind of 2 diets right now, a lower diet and a higher diet. And just like the training split, it's going to be something I don't put a whole lot of thought in. I just kind of pick a spot and make adjustments over the course of the weeks that I do this along the way. Day 6 is going to be a back, overhead press, and abs. So 3 muscle groups hit on that day. So what you can see is that over the course of this split, I'm not training any less than 3 body parts. But I don't even look at it in that nature. When I look at the things that I'm training from a body comp style split that this is, I'm looking at surface area. So it may be 2 muscle groups. For example, like maybe on one day, I train actually chest and quads. Those are 2 really, really majorly big muscle groups. Another day that might equate to the same kind of tissue output could be all my small body parts on one day. It could be biceps, triceps, medial delts, rear delts, front delts, and calves. That could equate to the same amount of tissue surface area as the chest and the quads, okay? So a big thing is like from an insulin sensitivity / tissue output category, we want to make sure that we're stimulating the same amount of tissue every day so that we're not overburdening our system too much. And that's about the furthest that I think into, the stimulus style deal, okay? On the 7th day, I have an off day. The off day is tentative, so it's flexible. I don't necessarily say here that I'm training 6 days in a row, that I'm doing some kind of stimulatory work, okay? But I'm gonna be okay with putting that off day somewhere where I need it, so it's flexible. Just over the course of 7 days, I probably will be doing some kind of, stimulus, total body stimulatory work, 6 out of 7 of those days, okay? The reason why that off day has to be flexible is because this is a very, very systemic style training. We're training a lot of tissue. We're not training them at a very high volume, which means I know that I'm probably going to be a little stronger, right? So for instance, think of like a set that I'll get to this in a second. Think of a superset. I will never do a superset of the same muscle group. I'll do like a chest and a tri. So if I was doing a chest and a chest, my strength's gonna drop off. But since I'm doing a chest and a tri, I know that my load's going to be a little bit higher, all right? So knowing that, there's gonna be a little bit more of a systemic fatigue happening to my body, especially in the beginning, since it's not used to this training style. It's a complete, opposite 180 from what I came from. Knowing that, I'm gonna be flexible with that off day. And if you do something like this, you should too. Okay, so it's a little concept of what the split is. Now you'll see over here that I have LISS. It's LISS, low intensity, steady state cardio. I'll call it cardio, but it's not really cardio. My advice for you guys, if you guys throw something like this in, is you really have two options. It's not at all bad to throw low intensity, steady state cardio post training, as long as it's not too long. Most people will say split it. I don't have any issue with that. That's okay. But I really think it boils down to convenience. So with the way that my days are, with as busy as I am, with how much time that I spend filming stuff for you guys, wasting my time on this crap for you guys, it's really more convenient for me to throw this at the end. And I see a couple benefits to that. I went in, I just had a chest, medial delt, tricep, calf day, and I kind of overloaded my system. So my nervous system's all jacked up. It's like, man, it just got overstimulated. I have all this new stimulus. It's a stress. I need to start to recover. How do I do it? Low intensity, steady state cardio. Literally get on the bike and just slowly pedaling for 20 minutes. Get on the treadmill and just slowly walking for 20 minutes. What it's going to do is it's going to change the system of stimulation. Okay, I'm going to get away from my nervous system being so stimulated. I'm going to get into another system that will help me to start to rest, recover, and digest food. So it will help increase appetite for my post-workout. Okay. In addition, if my calories are kind of on that fringe to where they're in a deficit, it's another way to get a little bit lower into a deficit. I burn a little bit more calories. Cool. Lastly, circulation is super important for recovery, okay? So by going in and moving and getting things moving in a dynamic nature, I'm not doing this in the workout, okay? So that dynamic movement is performing some kind of different circulation, which I could argue is important for maybe flushing lactic acid, flushing toxins that are in the body, getting your body to sweat a little bit more, which is great for detoxing, okay? But also promoting circulation, which we could argue is important for recovery and health in general. It's great for your heart. So all of you guys should be doing aerobic activity, if nothing else, for the sheer benefit that it has to your cardiovascular system, okay? And don't mistake the fact that we're doing cardio here and cardio here. This is training, people. We're creating a lactic stimulus. That's my doggies, okay? That's why these videos are raw, okay? Now, we're creating a lactic metabolic stimulus, a very toxic stimulus here. We're creating a recovery style stimulus here. And the reason why it's recovery based is because the time right now is going to be so low. It's going to be around 20 minutes. Can I progress it? Yeah. Could I put another 20-minute session in later in the day and have the benefit of it being kind of cardio based? Yeah. But again, we're starting someplace, going to see how body comp changes, see how my goals are coming to fruition, and make adjustments from there. Last thing, a little bit on the structure. I don't overthink this too much because I don't like to set things in stone. I don't really set rep ranges, I just kind of go by feel, but the one thing I know is I'm going to go away from the straight set format that I was in, which is one exercise, complete it all the way through before I get into the next one, and get more into this opposing muscle group, big, small muscle group style superset. So like the example I gave, it's going to be like a chest tricep superset, or like a chest medial delt superset, or like a medial delt calf superset, because I kind of want metabolites and these growth factors and things of that nature going to multiple muscle groups. I don't want this to be a training session that is high in single muscular stress. I also want to pull my carbohydrates down. So I don't want to be depleting each musculature of too much glycogen, because if we go too deep on that, we dig too much of a hole, it's going to be a stress it's going to be hard to recover from no matter how much I eat. Okay, so that's about the most of a thought process that I have in that nature. Per workout, the starting point, I'm going to do 2 exercises for my big body parts. So you can see that's in red here. I have chest, lat, quad, back, overhead press. Those are my big movement, big range of motion exercises, big body parts. I'm going to do 2 exercises for that. Again, not in the same superset, okay? For the small body parts that are in blue, I am going to do 1 exercise for those, okay? Doesn't seem like a whole heck of a lot, that means over the course of this first workout, that means 2 exercises of chest, 1 medial delt, so that's 3 total exercises, 1 tricep, so that's 4, and 1 calf, so that's 5. So 5 total exercises. In addition to that, okay, I'm gonna do 3 working sets. The first exercise, the bigger body part for the most part, will be 8 to 10-ish repetitions. It's kind of where I'll start, which is a little higher than what I've been working okay? Hey guys, shh. Sorry, okay? The second part of the superset will be a little higher in repetitions again because I don't want to overload my system too much with too much stress. Could I bring those reps down? Yeah. Will I? I don't know. Maybe. Will I take them higher? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on how I want to progress the program based on off of how my body is changing. Come on, guys. Shh. All right. Now, the 3 working sets. The question is, are those to failure? Not mechanical failure. Not muscular failure, simply from fatigue failure. So the way that I anticipate this to go is the first couple rounds, maybe the first 2 sets, I'll feel pretty good. But because I have some fatigue setting in from under recovering, from stimulating more than one muscle group, from actually doing a superset, which I'm not used to, I may simply fail because I'm fatigued, and I am okay with that. But I don't at any point in time want to progress that failure because that's an environment that I just came from. So if failure comes as a byproduct of the choices that I've made in my workout, I'm okay with that. The other thing that I'm keeping in mind is my rest periods in the past were like 2 to 4 minutes, depending on the exercise selection. I'm gonna bring those down a little bit, okay, which is automatically gonna bring my load down. In addition to that, I'm just gonna kind of be super picky in the first couple weeks with the way that I execute these guys. So I might do a little bit extra pauses in the extremes, might do a little extra contractions in shortened or loaded ranges, but that's just simply because I'm being anal and I wanna make sure everything is clicking so that I'm not getting hurt and I can kind of speedball through this program, okay? So it may seem like there is a lot going on here, and that is the importance of what I wanna get through here. This is a program that I spent 20 minutes on, okay? But the thought process of what I want to get out of it, all these factors of what I want to get out of it based off of the goal of where I want to go to is what makes this program super, super awesome. Not the fact that it's neurological based this or, wave loaded this or big small superset this or oxidative stress this. Doesn't matter. You can put that shit on paper, okay? But the problem is if you don't know how to conduct that style of stress with the efficiency that you do on the floor, it's not going to be that style program in the first place. So make sure you're very specific with your thought process and the intent that you have on your floor. And then your split won't matter quite as much because you're so good at training that you can make anything work, okay? So again, don't be emotionally attached to what's on paper. Be absolutely emotionally attached with how awesome you are on the floor. I hope that this brings some things to light. If you want to try this split, if you think it's great for you, awesome. Go through a couple weeks of it, get back with me and let me know how it goes. But if you're doing it alongside with me, the one thing I'm saying is I'm going to do it better than you. It's just the way it is. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Take care.